From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. Catholic cardinals broke with tradition Thursday and elected the first U.S. Pope, making Chicago-born missionary Robert Prevost the 267th pontiff to lead the Catholic Church in a moment of global turmoil and conflict. Prevost, a 69-year-old member of the Augustinian religious order who spent his career ministering in Peru, took the name Leo XIV. In his first words as Pope Francis's successor, uttered from the loggia of St. Peter's Basilica, Leo said, "Peace be with you," and emphasized a message of a disarmed and disarming peace dialogue and missionary evangelization. He wore the traditional red cape and trappings of the papacy, a cape that Francis had eschewed on his election in 2013, suggesting a return to some degree of tradition after Francis's unorthodox pontificate. But in naming himself Leo, the new pope could also have wanted to signal a strong line of continuity. Brother Leo was the 13th century friar who was a great companion to St. Francis of Assisi, the late pope's namesake. Prevost had been a leading candidate for the papacy, but there had long been a taboo against a U.S. pope, given the geopolitical power the country already wields. But Prevost was seemingly eligible because he's also Peruvian and had lived for years in Peru, first as a missionary and then as a bishop, and cardinals may have thought the 21st century world order could handle a U.S.-born pope. Turning to U.S. news, President Donald Trump abruptly fired Librarian of Congress Carla Hayden on Thursday as the White House continues to purge the federal government of those perceived to oppose the president and his agenda. Hayden was notified in an email late Thursday from the White House's Presidential Personnel Office, according to an email obtained by the Associated Press. Confirmed by the Senate to the job in 2016, Hayden was the first woman and the first African American to be Librarian of Congress. Carla, the email began, on behalf of President Donald J. Trump, I am writing to inform you that your position as the Librarian of Congress is terminated effective immediately. Thank you for your service. A spokesperson for the Library of Congress confirmed that the White House told Hayden she was dismissed. Hayden, whose 10-year term was set to expire next year, had come under backlash from a conservative advocacy group that accused her and other library leaders of promoting children's books with radical content and literary material authored by Trump opponents. The current hashtag Librarian of Congress, Carla Hayden, is woke, anti-Trump, and promotes transing kids, the group, American Accountability Foundation, said on its X account earlier Thursday, just hours before the firing was made public. It's time to get her out and hire a new guy for the job. The unexpected move infuriated congressional Democrats who initially disclosed the firing. Connecticut Representative Rosa DeLauro, the top Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee, said Hayden was callously fired by Trump and demanded an explanation from the administration as to why she was dismissed. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries applauded Hayden as an accomplished, principled, and distinguished Librarian of Congress. Donald Trump's unjust decision to fire Dr. Hayden in an email sent by a random political hack is a disgrace and the latest in his ongoing effort to ban books, whitewash American history, and turn back the clock. Jeffries said, "The Library of Congress is the people's library. There will be accountability for this unprecedented assault on the American way of life sooner rather than later." And now this news from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania State Senate on Tuesday approved a bill to ban transgender athletes from competing in women's and girls' sports at the collegiate and K-12 levels, although the Republican-penned bill is unlikely to get a vote in the state's Democratic-controlled House of Representatives. The bill passed 32-18, with 5 Democrats crossing party lines to join with all 27 Republicans in voting yes. The vote marked the second time the GOP-controlled Senate has passed it. An earlier attempt, in concert with a Republican-controlled House, met then-Governor Tom Wolf's veto pen in 2022. This time, Senate Republicans are advancing the effort after President Donald Trump declared his intent to keep men out of women's sports and made it a major campaign issue in last year's election, dividing Democrats on how to respond. The bill applies to participation in girls' and women's sports that are sponsored by public schools, public universities, and publicly chartered community colleges. It also prohibits any sort of government agency or athletic association from investigating or punishing a school or higher education institution for maintaining separate sports teams for girls or women. For well over an hour, Republicans and Democrats debated the bill, at times hotly. The sponsor, Senator Judy Ward, a Republican from Blair County, said the bill would ensure all young women have a fair chance to compete in the sports they love. It's amazing how incredibly interested they are in women's sports all these years after women have been competing in sports since the beginning of sports themselves. That's the news at this hour. If you have not already done so, be sure to visit the Pennsylvania Equality Project website, paequality.com, for more information on the housing survey for 2025. If you are 18 or older, live in Pennsylvania, and are part of the LGBTQ+ community, you are eligible to participate in the survey. Up next, we have the local weather forecast for Meadville here on PEP Radio.